Okay, moving on to the last exercise for chapter 1. We're looking at exercise 1-13, in which we are looking at the 4 basic financial statements. Each of these situations is independent, and we have a missing number. So let's take a look at these, and I just have some of my notes written over here on the side, and I'll show you as we go along how I'm using this. So the first one is relatively simple. They have revenues of 27,000, expenses of 18. They're asking you what's the net income. So obviously this is from the income statement. And in the income statement, what we have is revenues less expenses, and that'll give me my net income number. So it's a very simple exercise. I don't even need to write it down, but I will just so that I can come back and check my notes. 27,000 minus 18,000, the answer is 9,000 for the first part. Net income is 9,000. In the second part, they're looking at the stockholders' equity section. They've told us the stockholders' equity section increased by 17. So there was a beginning number, there's an ending number. They're saying that change is 17,000. So what's happened? They issued common stock of 11,000. They earned net income of 12, and they paid out dividends. The dividend number is not known. So this one is relatively easy. Let's take a look at what we do here. Issuance of common stock. You will add net income. You subtract your dividends, and that will give you the increase in the common stock, in the stockholders' equity, whatever that number may be. So let's take a look at this. So the increase is 17,000. 17,000 is the increase. I issued $11,000 worth of common stock, and I earned 12,000 in net income. So what's the dividend number? That's the unknown over here. So 11 plus 12 is 23. I started with whatever number at the beginning of the year. I have 23 as an increase, but at the end, I'm saying there's only an increase of 17, which means I paid out that difference in dividends. 11 plus 23 minus 17 is how much I have in dividends. So what I have in dividends is 6,000. 11 plus 12 is 23. 23 minus 6 will give me 17. So this number is nothing but the plugged number in the, if you write it down as an arithmetic equation and solve for the one unknown. For the first one, it was 27 minus 18. Here it is 11 plus 12 minus 17. That gives you that 6,000. So this is the statement of stockholders' equity. These are the numbers that we have in the statement of stockholders' equity. The third one, again, is very easy. It's a balance sheet. Assets is 24. Stockholders' equity is 15. How much is liability? So this one, we know our balance sheet equation. Assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity. And here what we have is they've given me the assets are 24,000. They've told me my stockholders' equity is 15. So this is just a balancing number. Assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity. If assets is 24 and equity is 15, this is a plug number and it's 9,000. Now, finally, let's look at the statement of cash flow. They've told us a net change in cash is 26. Operating activities have 34. Investing activities, I have minus 17. And I need to figure out the financing activities. Again, a very simple exercise. Let me write these down. Okay. Operating, investing, and financing, when you add up all of these, you will get the net change in cash. The net change in cash they've told me is 26. I know my operating activities is 34 because that's given to me. I know my investing activities is 17. So 34 minus 17 plus X equals 26. So I solve for that X. Again, if you need me to write this out, 34 minus 17 plus the X that's unknown equals 26. You solve for the X, and the answer you're going to come up with over here is 9,000. 34 plus minus 17 plus 9 gives you the 26,000 that you need to end up with. Same thing over here. Again, if you need to write this as an equation, assets equals X is the liabilities. We don't know what that is. Plus 15. Solve for the X. Exact same thing over here we have. 11 plus 12 minus, we don't know plus or minus, so just let's write plus X equals 17. When you solve for X, you will get the 6,000 minus 6,000. Here it is very simple. 27 minus 18 equals X, and that X is that net income number. So all you're doing is an arithmetic equation. There is one unknown, everything else is known, and that's about all there is to this. So your financial statements, income statement is revenue minus expenses, balance sheet is assets, liabilities, and owner's equity. Statement of cash flow, you have operating, investing, and financing activities. And in your stockholders' equity, you have your common stock and retained earnings. Common stock, there can only be one change, and that's the issuance of common stock. Retained earnings, you will have net income and dividends. Those are the only two items. So this kind of sums up chapter 1. Make sure you go through this very carefully on Blackboard, on Connect, and try and finish it up as soon as possible. If you have any questions, please ask me, but make sure you save and exit so I can look at your work if you have any questions. See you in class.